Euan Bennet, welcome to Flip Your Wig. I have questions.
All the questions.
All the questions. Who done it? Are you the baby daddy?
No comment.
Did you do the murder?
No comment.
Are you going to tell me anything?
No comment.
Listen, I knew it was going to be like this. The character you play, can we just talk about you being a part of Outlander? I mean, what did it feel like? Tell me a little bit about getting this character and getting to this point.
Yeah, it was a real whirlwind at first because it was like a really strange, like really quick casting process. When I got the casting through, I thought maybe we'd be there for a few weeks, few months, and it happened really quickly. And then all of a sudden I was up in Scotland and I was in a hotel room, and then I was snowed in for 10 days, and it was just like, we're not doing anything. And then we managed to get on set, and the first part, or the first bit we filmed was just in ep 6 actually, with JB, that little side comment and a couple of fisticuffs. And it was really, incredible. It was a whirlwind. It happened so quickly, and we're here now. We've had the prem. We're nearly at the end of season 6.
This is insane. It felt like everyone had to wait so long, and then almost done. But you know, episode 6, it almost felt like 2 episodes for me. There was so much to unpack.
So good.
When you're watching it, I'm assuming you're watching with your fiance. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Are you trying to watch it like us, the fans, or are you just like, I know what's going to happen, and you're just kind of there like, oh.
Yeah, I do. I think I do watch it like the fans because, I read when I filmed it, I read the script that was there, but obviously things change, moments change, and I read it as cover to cover, that you don't actually see you don't see the shots, you don't see different things that have happened. So there's bits that I'm going, I know what's going to happen. Oh, that happened there. Oh, right, okay. We filmed that the same day. That's strange, yeah. So it's like, it's really interesting. There's so many turns. And obviously for the first part of the series, I had no clue, what was going on. So I'd read the previous episode.
Yeah.
Yes, I came in later. So I was watching it as a fan and then was like, oh my God, I know what's coming up. And that's amazing why that happened. And I know why that happened. That's great. So yeah, it's it's weird. It's really exciting. But at the same time, it's it still is tense.
Fan base is beautiful. They've welcomed me so much as a newbie to the Outlander fan, because I discovered it after everyone else during lockdown. And also because I watched Katrina in Belfast and I fell in love with her. I wanted to know everything she's done. But the fans are like ride or die, and it's so diverse. It's from 16 all the way to 60, if not older. How have you found the fan base?
Well, my granddad read the books before the film. Before I didn't even know he was into it, type of thing, and because he loves to read. And then so I just thought about the fan base, the actual length of it or the width of it. It's just it's so vast, and they've just been so, as you say, so welcoming. And I love seeing the people who have read the books versus the people who just love the TV, and hearing theories, and no one spoils it. And I'm like, yes, that's great. No one's tweeting, oh, this happens in the book or this happens there, because obviously there's certain things they can't film with time constraints, and some things that you can't film that are in a book, and that's all these things. So things have changed slightly. So even now, even the people that have read the books are kind of having a little guessing game, unless it's different here.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's just been amazing to see people's response to the series. Yeah, it's been class.
It's weird for me because obviously I was trying to do these recaps, and what I realised was it's so difficult because everyone watches it at different times around the world. This is an internet show, so someone will be like, I'm not watching it on Sunday, we've got to wait till Tuesday. And I'm like, oh God. Yeah. So you're so nervous to say anything because you're not quite sure if everyone has seen it yet. And
that's the thing. And it's just no one, as I'm saying, it's like a spoiler-free zone. It's amazing. I remember when there's other series that we've watched or I've watched, and you have to stay clear because it's just the way it is. And but it just seems to be quite a spoiler-free, or there's at least spoiler alerts, and then they have a new thread, and it's okay, cool, I can't read that bit yet.
So you've not got it cool yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. No one's told me yet.
Okay, well, I just think it's great training for Marvel one day, because the Marvel actors always tell me the NDAs are nuts, and they literally are like, I can't tell anyone. And sometimes they film like 2 years ahead, and you're just like, how do you keep something so exciting secret?
Yeah, I don't know. So what have you been up to? Nothing much. But you're like, where were you for a year?
And you talk to me about that cast as well. And you mentioned your first day shooting. You're in episode 6. Ironically, was the one that you first shot in. Can you take me back to that first moment? And did you say hi to everyone? Did you get a chance to meet the kind of cast first, like Katrina, Sam? And how welcoming were they? Because I can imagine they're lovely.
Yeah, everyone was so welcoming, and everyone I had the pleasure to work with or be on set with, from cast, crew, producers, everyone was so welcoming. And it was like the first day I remember being really nervous, going, everyone's worked here before, but the newbie, I'm the new kid on the block. But like John Bell was the first person I met and worked with. We made a fight call. It was the day before we shot, and it was like I'd known him for years. He just welcomed me and we just got on with it, and it was just really nice. And then obviously we went on set, and then there he is in costume as young Ian, and I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is amazing. So yeah, everyone. And then when I eventually like bumped into Sam and Richard and everyone was just like, it was just so nice. Everyone was so welcoming, and I suppose I still felt a little bit like a newbie, because like maybe they were a bit more often, but it was like very quickly, it was like 5 minutes every day. I just felt like, I'm new here, hi, and then and then it was just into it, and like everyone was so lovely. Yeah, it was great.
The other day, I want to know if you could share something. I was doing the Olivier Awards, and the lovely camera producer I was working with, Paul, he asked me to hide the camera lead in my boot. Little thing that people don't know presenters sometimes do. I want to know, when you're wearing all that gear, is there some little secret pocket that you put something in? Like, is there anything?
There is so many pockets. So many pockets. I remember I have this like blue overcoat on. Yeah. And I remember having it on, and I just remember feeling something in the back, like waving around. And I just put this jacket on, like Wardrobe and I just put it on, we were totally chill. And then all of a sudden, this like mic pack was just flying about, but I didn't even know it was in there. Yeah. It was like, I was like, whoa. But there's like there's little bits and like little things that are stitched through, and like, I mean, the sound department are so creative with where they put mics and where they can.
No, but did you have any secret, like, you know?
Personally.
Yeah, like Rosalia, who's a musician, she says she puts her phone in her boots, which I find really weird, because I think when you're on stage, do you do stuff like that?
I had a satchel type of thing on my belt. I remember, this is amazing. I've just totally remembered this. I didn't even know this was a thing. It was like almost like a wallet type thing that you obviously would store like money in or whatever back in the day. And I used to put my sides and my phone in there and just sit them in there. And then, like, just in case I needed a little line check or I was just there. Yeah, that's the only thing that, I didn't even know that.
Phone didn't start ringing with some ridiculous music theme on it or anything, nothing like that. Okay, so I want you to tell me about you and Jessica Reynolds. I think new cast coming into an existing series so big, it can be daunting, and they've picked so many wonderful people, and I think it makes it so much more exciting when new faces come in, because you were both new. I know Jessica's been in there for the beginning of season 6.
Yeah.
What were you two like behind the scenes? Because there's that one scene in the church.
Yeah.
Hanky going on. How did you prepare for that before? How did you both have a laugh? Did you have a chat about it?
So we'd met briefly, was it the day, 2 days before?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I remember that I was like, we had never met before that. And then I remember I was sitting on one of the chairs, and then we just got chatting. It was so easy. The chatting just happened. We were having a laugh, all this stuff. But Alex and Mark were there as well, because they were doing something as the Christie family. So they were all kind of having a laugh. So I kind of was like slightly on the outskirts of that. So you could see the fun happening. And she was just she was so welcoming. I think she obviously knew who I was, and we kind of like were chatting away. But that day we were filming that, we had it was like an hour and a half of really serious chat with Vanessa, the intimacy coordinator, which was amazing. I never had the pleasure of working with someone like that before. And it was just so chilled, so relaxed, so cool. made me, I can't speak for Jess, but made me feel very at ease with what's going on, what we have to do and to get the shots done. But then we also had Richard on set with us as well that day. So it was really, because obviously I had to walk in, there was a few moments that I remember, I don't know if he does, and maybe it was just me in my head being really quite giggly who I am, but like I was off camera for eye lines and he would just look at me and I was just like kind of chuckling because the two of them were so funny together. Yeah. But Richard, we were very lucky that we had a really fun day. But Jess is such a bundle of joy, and like, yeah, it was just so easy. It felt like we knew each other, and obviously I'm saying that, I don't know if she felt like that, but like from my side, it felt like
I mean, it either works or it doesn't, and you know, on screen we can see it. I was at the premiere and I was lucky enough to see all of you just interacting, and it did feel very genuine. It did feel like, oh, the cameras are here, let's all be nice to each other. You felt, obviously you didn't get as much time on set, so you probably didn't have enough time to bond with everyone. Like, this is a serious situation right now. I started the hashtag on Twitter, who done it? Who's the baby daddy? Like, who's the baby daddy? Young Euan. You.
Is there more?
Pardon?
Is there more?
This is the thing. You know what I said today on Twitter? I was like, guys, if you read the book, I don't want you getting involved in these things. Because I don't want to know. I want to work it out myself. And the thing I know about Outlander from the short time that I've become a fan, the stories are so mind-blowing and bizarre. Yeah. That's never what you think it's going to be.
Yeah, and the turns that happen. I think this series, I was chatting about it today when we watched episode 6, and I think this series in particular for me has tackled something such as mental health in a period piece that they've done it so well. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is. There's something like the conversation that Jamie has with Fergus by the river, like, blew my mind. Like, there's moments that just happen, and then obviously you've got Claire's recovery happening from season 5 and all these things happening. And I just think as a season, it's I don't know, I just think this season is just like, it seems to get better and better with every episode, and not every second, like, it's just like, where can they go now?
Yeah, but I do you know what? Good that you brought that up, actually, because to be serious for a moment, for me as a female, you very rarely see women empowered, especially during that time, that kind of, because Claire and Jamie are like they're always leading each other, and she's just as important, if not more in some cases, as he is. But he compliments her, and I watched it backwards, season 5 backwards. So when I see where he was at, almost like a caveman to start off with, to where it's become, from toxic masculinity to, you know, women's empowerment, it's just, it is really important with some of the subject matters, because they don't always tackle this stuff on TV.
But it's the fact that they're talking about, that's what I'm saying, it's like everything they talk about is really quite, it's really on brand in a way. I don't want to make it like a demean it at all, but like, it's happening now. People are aware of what's happening now, and there's so much happening in the world that we are aware of through social media, through the news, through everything. But it seems as though they are tackling it at a time period where maybe we wouldn't think it would be tackled, and all of a sudden it's making sense, and it's just, they're just doing such a good job of it. Like, they're not skimming parts, they're not like brushing anything away, they're listening. It's just, I don't know, I can't really put it into words. I
don't think that they're kind of fearless. Like, I'm like, am I supposed to see this? It's quite fearless. Watch these stories playing out in the most graphic ways. It's epic. I don't think I've seen a series like this in forever.
I can't think of any either that it's just so well done.
Handmaid's is the only one that comes close for me, because Handmaid's Tale, I don't know if you've watched it. You haven't? Okay, Elizabeth.
It's on my list. It is on my list.
But I will tell you, it's brilliant, but the most depressing series I've ever watched. After watching an episode of Handmaid's Tale, bear in mind, I binged all 5 series in lockdown. Why?
Right.
But how can we be obsessed with watching something so tough to watch? It blows my mind that us as human beings, that we love real crime documentaries, the fascination that we have.
I think it's an escapism in a weird way. It's like, personally, you might not go something through, or let's say you go through something that is traumatic to what your experience, and then you watch something that's so heightened, and it kind of like helps. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
probably the wrong way to say it. But like, you can escape from that feeling for that moment. And then when you reflect, you're like, whoa, actually, they've just helped me do that. And it's like, it's almost like answers that you wouldn't even think of
I'm wondering,
become available.
as a guy, I mean, obviously you're an actor as well, when you saw Jamie's story play out, when he was raped and all the stuff he went through, I mean, we've not seen men like that on TV. And also, Sam blew me away because, boy, that would have challenged him. But how did that affect you just as a guy watching stories like that?
You just hit the nail on the head. That I remember watching that episode when they're in the prison, and I remember watching it, and like, it really got me thinking, going, what? I've never seen anything like that. Mm-hmm. And that made me kind of happy, sad, because obviously happy because you don't want to see anything like that ever, but sad the fact that it's such a common thing that you see it on the other way around. Like, you flip it, it's like, well, that's life. Whereas like, it was such a, yeah, as a guy, I suppose it was like, well, it was uncomfortable, but I think that's not just as a guy, I think that was for everyone. And for what Sam did in that series was just, or beyond that into series 2 and stuff, was just 2. It was just,
but
yeah.
You know, go on, sorry, after you.
Well, I was just saying, it's just, I don't know how he did it, because I don't know, sadly, many men that could talk about that.
I agree.
And like, how can you get experience from that? Mm-hmm. And like, sadly, you could probably talk to any woman who has been through that. And that's another thing that I think is amazing that this series is tackling, which is Jamie understanding, but from a different perspective of what's going on. And it's just like
trauma, Jamie's trauma. You're right. Brianna, everybody has a piece of trauma and everybody's trying to support everyone, but everybody is dealing with it differently. What's been your highest point? Has there been one memory that you think, I loved it, whether it was a premiere, whether it was being in Scotland in the cold? What was it?
There's 2 memories. One's like a real high and one's like a real low, but the low itself was really cool. And I remember checking myself with it. Yeah. I'll start with the highs. For me personally, it was the premiere. I'd never been to one like that before. I'd never been to the size of that. I never expected to be even interviewed or photographed or anything. And to have that.
Do you know what I love about you? You were on site.
I didn't know what to... Honestly, I couldn't stop laughing because I remember, and I feel bad for anyone who was there outside on the South Bank next to the railing. I know some people went to speak to you. I didn't know I was meant to. So I apologise to fans that were there. I didn't know anything about it. I was just getting pushed around by these lovely people who were like, right, we're going to go here now. Yeah. And it was an amazing experience. The low part, I remember, and I won't spoil what's to come, but there was a night shoot we did, and we started off like, I don't know, like 9 o'clock at night, and it was cold. But by the time we'd finished whatever that we were shooting and walked round the corner, the ground had frozen and it was -7.
Oh God.
We were there till 5 a.m. And I remember with a hot water bottle here, hand warmers, a big coat and a hat. And I remember being like, oh my God, this is my life. This is incredible. But also I'm freezing right now. Like, it was amazing. And to see everyone in this, obviously filmmaking is such a team effort.
Yeah.
And like, everyone was rallied round. Everyone was in the same position, whether you were camera or where you were sound or where you were dressing or running or wherever you were on the team, you were in the same position. We were all outside. It was -7 in the middle of Scotland, in the middle of March, April time, I believe it was. Absolutely freezing. But I just remember that one moment where we walked around and the mud had frozen and we were just like all like slipping all over the place.
I know you can't reveal, and I'm not going to push you because that's not what we do as Outlander fans. But do you know, firstly, who the baby daddy is?
Yeah. And
do you know who the killer is?
Yeah. I was told names, and whether someone, that's part of the reason I would never tell, because whether someone was pulling my leg. But yeah. So I'm going to say yes for both.
And I'm wondering, would it shock me and the fans?
Whoever it may be, I was gobsmacked.
Love that. Okay. Got it. Hey, listen, thank you so much, Euan. Like, total pleasure to be finally talk like this.